If you look at our business, quarter 1, 2, and 3 have a slightly lower EBIT margin because the volumes are lower. And then when Q4 comes, because that's kind of when the Christmas trading and the big volumes turn up, then we get more operating leverage coming through. That's why you end up on this average of around 25. So actually, we're maintaining a view on around 25 for this year, which will be similar to last year. And that allows us to take operating leverage and other kind of cost benefits that we have in reinvesting in the business. So we're really investing for growth here.
And by the way, I didn't call you Peter randomly. I called you erroneously, but of course Peter is the chair of the board of directors, and I'm just looking at a picture of you and him. Lovely picture of the pair of you, by the way. So apologies there, Alexander. I think you look nice as a Peter, mind you. That aside, China. I know it's only a small % of current sales, but it's an important growth market for everyone who's trying to tap that area geographically. That is a horrible number out of China, Alexander, or Peter, whatever I should call you, down 11% like for like.
Please do call me Alexander. Well, I mean, China is a very tough market for pretty much everybody, at least the people that are playing in the mass market segment like we do. So that minus 11 was actually kind of more or less within what we expected. The game in China is a long-term game, I think, for everybody. Right now, they're having some difficult times, but if you look at it from a slightly longer perspective, this market will rebound. And at the end of the day, it's 1.4 billion consumers. It's the largest jewelry market in the world. So, of course, we will kind of stick to our guns and try to make a good progress there.
I get it. It's really important and it's an exciting market. And if you hit the growth right there, I mean, it could be hockey stick stuff. But why are you seeing... look, people tell me we're seeing 5% growth in China. I struggle when I speak to people like yourself to see where that's coming from. Do you doubt that China is actually growing?
It is incredibly difficult to answer. I mean, we operate in a tiny segment in the markets. I don't have any good sense of this. Of course, like everywhere else, they are struggling with inflationary pressures. We see that unemployment, in particular amongst youth, is high. We have the majority of our business in the younger part of the population. So I'm sure that this plays into kind of market conditions being the way they are. But I don't have a good view on that 5% you're mentioning, unfortunately.
Alexander, I've been struck by a release that you've had in the last couple of days that could dramatically change your ESG credentials, and this is around using recycled silver and gold. And it's quite fascinating looking at the detail here of the carbon footprint of recycled silver, 1/3 compared to mined silver, and recycling gold, emitting less than 1% of carbon emissions. This is dramatic here. Just talk us through how this changes your carbon footprint as a group, given you've already got lab-grown diamonds as well, and what the response has been from investors so far.
I mean, it comes as a larger package where we talk more about being a good corporate citizen and doing our part to put, do something about the CO2 emissions in the world. Silver being our biggest raw material, actually contributing to roughly 25, almost 25% of our total CO2 footprint. Of course, we took a look at that and say, is there anything we can do? And of course, using a recycled silver, as you mentioned, in our case, would save something close to 60,000 tons of CO2 annually as we switch from mined to recycled silver. The characteristics of a recycled piece of grain versus something you mine is exactly the same. That's the beauty of working with precious metals. So this does make a big impact for us. So we moved all our gold, all our silver, and as you mentioned, we're only using man-made diamonds as well. So this is part of a bigger let's say, push that we're making. Of course, when we speak to stakeholders, and stakeholders, not just financial stakeholders, in particular, when we talk to our employees, they're very, very pleased with this progress that we have made in quite some short space of time. Our ESG ratings, we just got the CDP rating the other day, which again puts us in the top tier with an A rating. So stakeholders are taking note.
Right.
That's without a doubt.
Yeah. Alexander,